I'm standing on my balcony in New York at 2:47 a.m., watching my phone light up for the 47th time today. Mom. Again. 3 weeks ago, I would have answered. 3 weeks ago, I still believed blood meant something. 3 weeks ago, I sat at my childhood dining table while my mother slid a manila folder across the wood and told me she'd given away my company. Not sold it. Gave it. To Ryan. My baby brother who couldn't hold a job at Best Buy. My baby brother who dropped out of college twice. My baby brother who once called me at midnight because he didn't know how to pay his electric bill online. That Ryan. I've transferred controlling ownership of Carter Solutions, she said, voice steady like she was discussing grocery lists. To your brother. I actually laughed. Thought she was messing with me. Some weird joke I wasn't getting. Her face didn't change. Ryan needs purpose, honey. You've always been so independent. You don't need this the way he does. She folded her hands on the table. And honestly, when it comes to running a business at this level, it should really be handled by a man when possible. The refrigerator hummed behind her. That's what I remember most. That low, mechanical hum filling the silence where my voice should have been. I looked down at the documents. My signature. My company. My $13.2 million valuation that I built from nothing while sleeping on a friend's couch in Massachusetts. Gone. Legally transferred to a man who needed a purpose. I didn't yell. Didn't cry. Didn't flip the table or call her the things I was thinking. I just stood up, grabbed my jacket, and walked out. Haven't been back since. Now she won't stop calling. 72 voicemails in 3 weeks. Ryan showed up at my apartment building twice. Security won't let him up anymore. They want something. I can hear it in the desperation, the way the calls come at weird hours now. 3 a.m. 5 a.m. During business hours when she knows I'm working. My phone buzzes again. A text this time, from a number I don't recognize. Emily, it's Mom. Please. We need to talk. This is important. Ryan says the company is having some issues and I lock my screen. They have no idea. See, what my mother didn't know when she handed Ryan my life's work, what Ryan definitely didn't know when he strutted into my office and started firing people who'd been with me since day one, is that I didn't give them everything. 2 years ago, after a private equity firm tried to acquire us and I saw how dirty business could get, I made a decision. A quiet one. The kind you don't announce at family dinners. I took the core algorithm, the actual brain of Carter Solutions, the code that makes everything work, and I spun it off into a separate entity. Registered it in Delaware under a name nobody would connect to me. Then I licensed it back to Carter Solutions. Renewable annually. The renewal date was 90 days after Mom's little folder surprise. I'm looking at my laptop now. At the calendar notification I've been staring at for 20 minutes. License expires in 4 hours. Do I renew it and save the company they stole? Or do I let it die and watch everything burn? I think you know which one I picked. You need to understand something about my family before this makes sense. I've been working since I was 16. Not because we were poor, we weren't. Not because Mom made me, she didn't. I worked because nobody was going to hand me anything, and I knew it. First job was at ShopRite, bagging groceries after school. Then I picked up weekend shifts at a cafe in town. By senior year, I was pulling night shifts at a diner, doing homework during the dead hours between 2 and 5 a.m. Ryan? Ryan was finding himself. That's what Mom called it when he dropped out of Rutgers freshman year. He's finding himself, M. Not everyone figures it out right away. When he quit his second attempt at community college, he's exploring his options. When he bounced between jobs, 3 months at Target, 2 months doing Uber, that weird month he tried selling protein shakes on Instagram, he's entrepreneurial. He's got vision. Meanwhile, I graduated with a computer science degree I paid for myself. Moved to Massachusetts with $800 and a duffel bag. Slept on my friend Keisha's couch for 14 months while I built the first version of Carter Solutions. Coded from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Pitched investors during the day. Lived off ramen and whatever free food I could grab at networking events. My college graduation? Mom didn't come. Ryan had a business pitch meeting that day for some app idea that never went anywhere. She drove him to Philadelphia instead. You understand, right, honey? You've always been fine on your own. First time I landed a major investor meeting, the one that eventually led to our Illinois contract, I called Mom excited. Needed to borrow her car because mine died and I couldn't afford the repair yet. Oh sweetie, I just lent it to Ryan for the weekend. He's driving to the beach with some friends. Can't you just Uber? The meeting was 2 hours away. An Uber would have cost more than I had in my checking account. I took a Greyhound bus. Showed up 40 minutes late. Still closed the deal. When Carter Solutions hit its first $1 million in revenue, I took Mom to dinner. Told her everything. The contracts. The growth. The team I'd built. She smiled, squeezed my hand. I'm proud of you, Em. Just remember to stay humble. Pride comes before the fall. 2 weeks later, Ryan's latest business idea collapsed. Some crypto thing he didn't understand. Lost $12,000 of borrowed money. Mom called me crying. Not about my success. About Ryan's failure. Can you help him? He's so lost right now. He just needs a win. That's when I should have seen it coming. But I didn't. I thought if I just succeeded hard enough, built something big enough, proved myself completely, she'd finally see me the way she saw him. Turns out, I was right. She saw exactly what I built. And she gave it away. The trust paperwork showed up 6 weeks before everything fell apart. Mom flew to Connecticut. Said she was, in the area, visiting an old friend, wanted to stop by and see my office. I should have known. Mom doesn't have friends in Connecticut. But I was tired. We just closed a massive contract with a manufacturing network in Illinois, 18-month deal worth $2.3 million. I'd been working 100-hour weeks. My brain felt like static. She brought lunch. Sandwiches from this deli she knows I love back in Jersey. We ate in my office, and for maybe 20 minutes, it felt normal. She asked about the business. Actually listened. Asked smart questions about logistics software, about my team, about growth projections. Then she pulled out the folder. I've been talking to a lawyer from our church, she said, spreading documents across my desk. He specializes in family businesses. Estate planning. Tax optimization. The words floated past me. Tax efficiency. Asset protection. Legacy planning. Basically, if you set up a family trust now, before the valuation gets too high, you can save hundreds of thousands in taxes down the line. Maybe millions. I rubbed my eyes. Tried to focus on the pages. It's all standard stuff, she continued. You maintain full operational control. This just creates a cleaner structure for when you eventually want to pass things down or bring in family members. Lots of successful companies do this. I don't know, Mom. I should probably have my lawyer look at. Of course. But he's offering to do this at a discount because we go to the same church. The consultation alone usually costs $5,000. He's doing it for free as a favor. She pushed a business card toward me. Gerald Hutchinson, estate planning attorney. Just meet with him. No commitment. He'll explain everything better than I can. I was so tired. And she seemed genuinely excited to help. To finally be involved in something I'd built. The meeting happened 3 days later. Gerald was smooth. Professional. Had answers for every question. Made it sound so simple, so beneficial. I signed on a Thursday afternoon. Mom hugged me in the parking lot. I'm so proud of you, sweetie. You're securing your future. Building something that'll last. 3 weeks later, she invited me to dinner. Said it was important. Family meeting. I drove 5 hours thinking maybe she wanted to apologize for missing my birthday. Again. Instead, she slid me that folder. And took everything. Ryan walked into Carter Solutions headquarters on a Tuesday morning like he owned the place. Because legally, he did. I wasn't there. Couldn't stomach it. But my team called me within an hour. What's happening? Ryan's here with some guy in a suit saying he's the new CEO. He's asking for all the admin passwords. Marcus. My lead developer. Been with me since month 3, when we were coding in a basement office that smelled like mold. Give him whatever he wants, I said, voice flat. It's his company now. The silence on the other end lasted too long. Are you serious? Legal says I don't have a choice. I hung up before he could ask more questions. By Friday, Ryan had fired 4 people. Including Marcus. Restructuring, he called it in the company-wide email. Trimming the fat. Moving toward a leaner, more efficient operational model. Marcus had a wife. 2 kids. A mortgage. Ryan replaced him with some guy from his gym who knew computers. The investor calls started the following Monday. What's going on over there? We just got an email from someone named Ryan introducing himself as CEO. When did this transition happen? We're trying to schedule a quarterly review and nobody's responding. The main contact number goes to voicemail. Our tech team is reporting integration issues with your API. They've submitted 3 tickets with no response. This is unacceptable. They called my personal phone because Ryan wasn't answering theirs. I started sleeping 4 hours a night. Then 3. Then just passing out on my couch whenever my body gave up. Contracts started stalling. Our California client sent a formal letter requesting assurances about recent leadership changes and operational stability. Washington put their expansion on hold. I lost 11 pounds in 3 weeks. Stopped returning calls from friends. Keisha drove up from Boston because I wasn't responding to texts. You look dead, she said, standing in my doorway. When's the last time you ate? I couldn't remember. She stayed for 2 days. Made me shower. Forced me to eat soup. Mostly just sat with me while I stared at walls. You're brilliant, she said before leaving. You built that company from nothing. You can build another one. Better than anything Ryan could ever touch. I nodded. Didn't believe her. That night, alone again, I opened my laptop. Started going through old files. Contracts. Incorporation documents. Every piece of paperwork from the last 5 years. Looking for something. Anything. That's when I found it. A folder labeled, Auxiliary IP, Delaware Registration. And I remembered. The acquisition attempt 2 years ago. The lawyers circling. The paranoia that kept me up at night thinking someone might steal the core technology. The decision I made at 3 a.m. to protect the algorithm. The separate entity I created. The licensing agreement I embedded so quietly that even my own CFO barely noticed. I opened the contract. Read the renewal terms. Check the date. 89 days until expiration. And for the first time in 3 weeks, I felt something besides despair. I felt power. Let me take you back to March 2023. Carter Solutions was doing well. Not great yet, but solid. We had 12 employees, 3 major clients, and a product that actually worked better than anything else on the market. That's when Titan Logistics came sniffing around. Big corporate firm. Offices in 9 states. They wanted to acquire us, or more specifically, they wanted our algorithm. The proprietary code that made our software actually useful instead of just another project management tool. Their first offer was insulting. 400,000 for everything. I said no. They came back at 1.2 million. Still no. That's when things got nasty. Their lawyers started finding holes. Questioning our patents. Suggesting maybe our code wasn't as original as we claimed. Implying they could just build something similar and crush us. I spent 6 weeks barely sleeping, meeting with IP attorneys, trying to figure out how to protect what I'd built. One lawyer, older guy named Shen who worked out of a tiny office in Boston, gave me advice I didn't understand at the time. Your algorithm is your value. Everything else is just scaffolding. If someone ever comes for your company, make sure they can't take the one thing that matters. He helped me set up something called an IP holding entity. Separate company. Registered in Delaware where corporate laws actually make sense. We transferred the core algorithm, every line of code that made Carter Solutions actually function, into this new entity. Called it Apex Code Systems LLC. Then we licensed it back to Carter Solutions. Annual renewable license. Automatic renewal unless either party provided 60 days notice. Think of it like this, Chen explained. You're renting your own technology to your own company. Sounds stupid, right? But if anyone ever takes Carter Solutions from you, all they get is an empty building. The actual foundation stays with you. I paid him $12,000 I barely had. Signed the papers. Filed everything properly. Then I forgot about it. Titan Logistics eventually went away. We kept growing. The Delaware entity just sat there, quietly owning the most valuable thing we had, while Carter Solutions operated on borrowed brilliance. Nobody knew. Not my CFO. Not my investors. Not my mother when she brought me those trust documents. And definitely not Ryan when he strutted into my company thinking he'd inherited a gold mine. Now, sitting in my apartment at 3 a.m., I pulled up the licensing agreement. Read every word this time. Section 7, subsection C, license term is valid for 12 months from date of execution. Renewal occurs automatically unless non-renewing party provides written notice minimum 60 days prior to expiration date. I checked the execution date. The last renewal. Expiration, 90 days after Mom's dinner party ambush. Which meant I had 30 days left to decide. Renew and save them. Or let it lapse and watch Carter Solutions become worthless overnight. I opened my email. Started typing. To Gerald Hutchinson, estate planning attorney. CC, Ryan Carter, Susan Carter. Apex Code Systems LLC, notice of non-renewal. My finger hovered over the keyboard. 30 days seemed too kind. I deleted it. Started over. I'd give them no warning at all. Instead, I called Chen. At 3 a.m. He answered on the fourth ring, voice rough with sleep. This better be important. The IP entity we set up 2 years ago. If I let the license lapse, what happens to the company using it? Silence. Then a low whistle. They'd be operating software they have no legal right to use. Every contract they signed becomes void. Clients could sue for breach. Investors could demand refunds. The whole thing implodes. How fast? Depends on their infrastructure. If everything runs on that algorithm? Maybe 48 hours before someone notices things aren't working. A week before it's catastrophic. And legally, I'm protected. You own the IP. You have every right not to renew. It's business, not personal. He paused. Who took your company, Em? My family. Another pause. Longer this time. Then don't renew. Let me know if you need documentation. I hung up. Opened my calendar. Set a reminder for expiration day. And waited. The thing about revenge is that it's better when they don't see it coming. When they're still walking around thinking they won, making plans, spending money that isn't really theirs. Ryan posted on LinkedIn 3 days later, excited to announce my new role as CEO of Carter Solutions. Looking forward to taking this company to new heights. 63 people liked it. Mom commented, "So proud of you, sweetheart." I took a screenshot. Saved it in a folder labeled Receipts. 30 days to go. The license expired on a Wednesday at 12:01 a.m. I was awake. Obviously. Sitting in my apartment with my laptop open, watching the clock on my phone tick over from 11:59 to midnight. And just like that, Carter Solutions stopped being a real company. Nothing dramatic happened at first. Servers don't explode at midnight like in movies. The office didn't catch fire. Ryan probably slept fine that night, dreaming about his future as a tech CEO. But the code knew. Every function that relied on the algorithm, which was everything, started throwing errors. Nothing visible to users yet. Just background processes failing. Data not syncing properly. Automated reports not generating. Small cracks in the foundation. I gave it 3 days before someone noticed. Took 5. Marcus, my old lead developer who Ryan fired, texted me, "I'm still getting error alerts forwarded to my old email. Something's broken in the core system." Like, fundamentally broken. Does Ryan know? I didn't respond. By week 2, clients were calling. "The Illinois Manufacturing Network, your software isn't processing our inventory updates. We've lost 2 days of data." What's going on? "California, the integration is completely down. Our entire supply chain tracking is offline." Ryan, apparently, told them it was routine maintenance. There's no such thing as routine maintenance that breaks everything. Week 3, the first lawsuit landed. Illinois manufacturer, breach of contract. Demanding a full refund plus damages for operational disruption. They were seeking $1.8 million. Ryan called me for the first time since the takeover. Blocked number. I let it go to voicemail. Hey, it's Ryan. Listen, we're having some technical issues with the software and nobody here can figure it out. The developers we hired keep saying something about missing source code. I don't really understand the technical stuff, but can you just call me back? Please? I deleted it. He called 6 more times that day. By week 6, revenue hit 0. Every single client had either suspended their contract or demanded refunds. Word spreads fast in industry circles. Carter Solutions is failing became Carter Solutions is a scam became don't touch anything associated with those people. The investors, the ones who believed in me, who watched me build something real, started getting lawyer letters from Ryan's team trying to explain why their investment was circling the drain. 3 of them called me directly. What happened? Did you know about this? I told them the truth, I'm not with the company anymore. You'd have to ask Ryan. Week 8. 11 p.m. on a Thursday. Buzzer rings in my apartment. I check the camera. Ryan's standing there, looking like he hasn't slept in days. Hoodie. Unshaven. Eyes red. I almost don't answer. But I want to see this. I buzz him up. He practically falls through my door when I open it. Thank God. I've been calling for weeks. Why won't you answer? Why would I? Because the company is dying. Everything's broken and nobody can fix it. We've had 4 lawsuits filed. Mom had to take out a second mortgage on the house to cover legal fees. I lean against my doorframe. Cross my arms. Sounds rough. Rough? It's a nightmare. The investors are talking about fraud charges. Our lawyer says if we can't restore functionality within 30 days, we could lose everything. Not just the company, like, everything. What do you want from me, Ryan? Fix it. His voice cracks. Please. Whatever's broken, you know how to fix it. You built this. Just, come back. Help us. I'll give you whatever you want. Equity. A salary. We can work something out. You fired Marcus. And Tina. And Dev. And Collins. I made mistakes, okay? I didn't know what I was doing. But we can rehire them. We can fix all of it. Just please. No. He stares at me. What? I said no. You wanted the company. You got it. Figure it out yourself. But Mom said. I don't care what Mom said. She's sick, Em. The stress is literally making her sick. She's having chest pains. The doctor says it's anxiety, but she should have thought about that before she stole my company. She didn't steal it. She was trying to help me. To give me a chance. By taking mine? He's crying now. Actually crying. My baby brother, who got everything handed to him his entire life, standing in my doorway falling apart. We can make this right, he whispers. Family is supposed to forgive. That's what families do. I look at him for a long moment. Then I close the door. Through the wood, I hear him, Em, please. Please. I walk back to my couch. Put my headphones on. And let him knock until building security makes him leave. 2 days after Ryan showed up at my door, my attorney called. Rebecca Chen, no relation to the IP lawyer, just coincidentally also Chen, had been my corporate attorney since year 2 of Carter Solutions. Sharp, thorough, didn't miss anything. I've been digging through the trust documents, she said. The ones your mother had you sign. Okay. There's something weird here. Really weird. I sat up straighter. Gerald Hutchinson, the estate planning attorney? I ran a background check. He's not some guy from church. What do you mean? I mean he's been Ryan's personal legal advisor for 3 years. Helped him set up 2 failed LLCs, represented him in a debt collection case in 2022. He's literally Ryan's lawyer, Em. My stomach dropped. That's a conflict of interest. Massive conflict. He never disclosed the relationship. Never told you he had a pre-existing professional relationship with a direct beneficiary of the trust you were creating. I stood up, started pacing. But the documents are still legal, right? Like, this doesn't automatically void. The transfer itself is technically valid. But it gets worse. How could it possibly get worse? I'm looking at page 14 of the trust agreement. Section 9, Clause C. Did you read this part? Rebecca, I barely read any of it. I was exhausted and Mom was standing there and there's a liability clause. It states that if the company transferred into the trust fails to maintain operational solvency within 18 months of transfer, all outstanding debts, legal judgments, and financial obligations become the personal responsibility of the trustee. What does that mean in normal words? It means if Ryan runs Carter Solutions into the ground, which he's currently doing, your mother becomes personally liable for everything. Every lawsuit. Every investor claim. Every dollar of debt. The room tilted. She signed that? She's the trustee. It's her signature right here. Did she know? Did Hutchinson explain? Based on the documentation, there's no evidence he properly disclosed the implications. In fact, given his relationship with Ryan, I'd argue he had incentive not to explain it. I sat down hard on my couch. So Ryan gets the company. If he succeeds, great, he wins. If he fails, your mother loses everything. Her house. Her savings. Her retirement. Whatever assets she has gets seized to cover the company's debts and legal damages. And Ryan? Protected. The clause specifically shields the operating manager, that's him, from personal liability. He just walks away. My hands were shaking. She didn't just betray me. She signed her own death warrant. Essentially, yes. I started laughing. Couldn't help it. The kind of laugh that's half hysteria, half disbelief. Does she know about the clause? I doubt it. This kind of language is deliberately buried. You need a sharp attorney reading carefully to catch it. Most people just sign where their lawyer tells them to sign. Her lawyer. Ryan's lawyer. Exactly. I was quiet for a long time. How bad is it going to be? For her? Rebecca sighed. Based on current filings, Illinois is suing for $1.8 million. California just filed for $2.3. Two smaller clients are claiming damages. Then there's the investor claims. Those could go as high as $8 million if they argue fraud. That's over $12 million. Potentially. And your mother probably has, what, maybe $500,000 in total assets. House equity, savings. If that. Then she's looking at bankruptcy. Asset seizure. Financial devastation. I should have felt something. Satisfaction, maybe. Victory. Instead, I just felt hollow. They set a trap, I said quietly. For me. And she walked right into it herself. Poetic, in a dark way. Yeah. What do you want to do? I looked out my window at the New York skyline. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. She made her choice, Rebecca. She chose Ryan over me. Chose giving him everything over acknowledging I'd earned anything. This is just consequences. You sure? Was I? Yeah. I'm sure. Let it play out. I hung up. Mom called 3 hours later. From a number I didn't recognize. I let it ring. Then I blocked that one too. The lawyers descended on Mom like vultures over the next 2 weeks. I knew because Ryan kept trying to reach me through different numbers. Different emails. Even tried messaging me on LinkedIn with an account he'd apparently created just to get around my blocks. They're saying Mom owes $11 million. $11 million. She doesn't have that. Nobody has that. You have to help us fix this. Delete. The house is going into foreclosure. They're seizing her retirement accounts. She's 61 years old. What's she supposed to do? Delete. I know you're mad, but this is bigger than us fighting. This is Mom's entire life. Please. Delete. Mom's Facebook disappeared overnight. The profile she'd maintained for 8 years, posting pictures of Ryan's accomplishments, her garden, inspirational quotes about strength and perseverance, just gone. I heard through a cousin that people in town were talking. The story had leaked somehow. Susan Carter's son destroyed a multi-million-dollar company and now she's losing everything. Not quite accurate, but close enough. The borrowed phone texts started coming daily. Emily, please. Just one conversation. That's all I'm asking. I made a mistake. I see that now. Can we please talk? Your brother didn't mean for this to happen. He was trying his best. That one almost made me laugh. Ryan's best had always been mediocre, propped up by other people's work. The doctor says my blood pressure is dangerous. I'm having panic attacks. I can't sleep. Please, baby. Please just call me. Baby. She hadn't called me that since I was 12. I stared at that message for 20 minutes. My thumb hovered over the call button. The daughter in me, the one who still remembered Mom braiding my hair before school, teaching me to ride a bike, staying up with me when I had nightmares, that daughter wanted to call back. Wanted to fix it. Wanted to be the bigger person. But there was another voice. Quieter. Colder. The voice that remembered working double shifts at 16 while Ryan slept in. The voice that remembered graduating college alone. The voice that remembered building a company from nothing while everyone doubted me. The voice that remembered sitting at that dinner table while Mom calmly explained that men should run businesses. I put the phone down. A week later, the texts changed tone. We were wrong. I was wrong. I should have seen your worth. I should have protected what you built. I'm sorry. Too late for sorry. Ryan's working at Target now. Night shifts, stocking shelves. He's trying to help pay the legal fees, but it's not even a drop in the bucket. We're drowning. Good. I don't know what else to say. I destroyed the best thing our family had. I destroyed my daughter. And now I'm losing everything because of it. Maybe I deserve this. I read that one 3 times. Maybe I deserve this. Finally. Accountability. But it still didn't change anything. The last message came on a Tuesday morning. I understand if you never forgive me. I wouldn't forgive me either. But please know that I'm proud of you. I always was. I was just too stupid and too blinded by old ideas to show it. You deserved better. You deserved everything. I'm sorry I couldn't be the mother you needed. I stared at my screen until it went dark. Then I blocked that number too. Because here's what I'd learned: some apologies come too late. Some bridges burn so completely that no amount of water can save them. And sometimes, the kindest thing you can do for yourself is walk away and let people face what they created. Even when those people are family. Especially when those people are family. 6 months after the license expired, I was in Denver. New city. New company. New life. I'd chosen Colorado specifically because nobody from my old life would think to look for me there. No connection to New Jersey. No history. Just mountains and fresh air and the chance to build something that was entirely mine. The company was called Catalyst Operations. Different name. Same core technology, because I still owned it. Better team. Bigger vision. Marcus was my first call after I landed. I'm starting over. You in? He didn't even hesitate. When do I start? Tina came next. Then Dev. Then Collins. Everyone Ryan had fired for no reason except he could. We set up in a co-working space downtown. Nothing fancy. Just desks and Wi-Fi and people who actually knew what they were doing. Within 3 months, we had 2 contracts. Both bigger than anything Carter Solutions landed in its first year. Within 6 months, we'd signed deals in Texas, Arizona, and Nevada. Manufacturing companies who'd heard about us through industry whispers. That team that built the software everyone was using? They're back. No family trust this time. No church lawyers. No silent partnerships. Just my name on every document. My signature. My control. 100% ownership. I hired a new attorney, not Rebecca. She'd moved to a firm in Chicago, named Torres. First thing I told him, build this so nobody can ever take it from me again. He did. Every share. Every asset. Every piece of intellectual property. Locked down so tight that even if someone tried what Mom did, they'd hit a wall of legal protections. News filtered back through mutual connections. Mom's house sold in August. Short sale. She lost about $40,000 in equity that vanished into legal fees. Ryan was still at Target. Still night shifts. Someone saw him at a bar in Newark, complaining about how family betrayal had ruined his life. The irony was almost beautiful. Gerald Hutchinson, the church lawyer who set the whole thing up, got disbarred. Turns out representing both parties in a trust agreement without disclosure is exactly as illegal as it sounds. Someone filed a complaint. The state bar investigated. He lost his license in October. Mom moved into a 1-bedroom apartment in a cheaper part of town. The kind of place she would have called beneath her 2 years ago. Ryan moved back in with her. Full circle. I should have felt satisfied. victorious. Like I'd won. Instead, I just felt tired. Not regret, I'd do everything the same way again. But there's a grief that comes with cutting off family that nobody talks about. It's not about missing them. It's about mourning the version of them you wish had existed. The mom who could have been proud without conditions. The brother who could have celebrated instead of competed. The family that could have lifted you up instead of tearing you down. I didn't miss who they were. I missed who I needed them to be. But therapy was helping with that. Twice a week, unpacking decades of being invisible while desperately trying to be seen. Dr. Okafor asked me once, if your mother called right now and genuinely apologized, what would you say? I thought about it. Nothing. I'd hang up. Why? Because apologies don't erase patterns. And I'm done teaching people how to value me. She wrote something in her notebook. Nodded. That's growth. Maybe it was. Or maybe I was just done bleeding for people who only noticed the mess when it stained their carpet. It's been 18 months now. Catalyst Operations has 43 employees. Offices in Denver and Austin. Contracts across 11 states. We just closed a deal worth $4.7 million over 2 years. I'm doing better than I ever did with Carter Solutions. Better team. Better contracts. Better sleep. And it's all mine. No trust. No family complications. No wondering if someone's going to take it away the moment I turn my back. Just me and the business I built and the people who actually respect what that means. I still have that blocked number list in my phone. 17 different numbers Mom and Ryan tried to reach me from. Sometimes late at night I scroll through them, reading the contact names I gave them. Mom, do not answer. Ryan, block 4. Unknown, probably them. I could delete them. Probably should. But I keep them as a reminder. Of who I used to be. The version of me that thought love meant sacrifice without reciprocation. That thought family meant swallowing disrespect with a smile. That thought if I just achieved enough, succeeded enough, proved enough, they'd finally see me. Dr. Okafor says I wasn't mourning my family. I was mourning the illusion. You spent 30 years waiting for people to become who you needed them to be, she said during our last session. That's not grief over what you lost. That's grief over accepting what never existed. She's right. The mom I needed would have been at my college graduation. The mom I needed would have celebrated my first investor meeting instead of lending her car to Ryan. The mom I needed would have built me up instead of handing my life's work to someone who didn't earn it. But that mom doesn't exist. Never did. I was just too desperate for approval to see it. Last month, I spoke at a tech conference in Phoenix. Panel on women in logistics software. Afterwards, a younger woman approached me. Maybe 25. Nervous energy. I'm building something, she said. A platform for small retailers. My family keeps telling me to get a real job and stop wasting time. But I believe in this. How did you keep going when people didn't believe in you? I looked at her for a long moment. I stopped waiting for permission to be great, I said. And I stopped letting people who never built anything tell me what I was capable of building. Her eyes watered. My dad says women aren't meant to run tech companies. Then prove him wrong. And when you do, when you're successful and thriving and he suddenly wants to be involved, remember that you did it without him. You don't owe him access to what he never supported. She nodded. Wrote down my email. I wonder if she'll make it. I hope she does. I hope she learns faster than I did that blood doesn't equal loyalty. And that sometimes the people who raise you are the first ones to bet against you rising. My phone's on my desk right now. Those blocked numbers still saved. Sometimes I wonder what would happen if I unblocked them. If Mom texted again. If she'd learned anything beyond, I'm sorry I got caught. But it doesn't matter. Because I learned something more important. I learned that I don't need their validation. I don't need their approval. I don't need their pride or their acknowledgement or their belated recognition that I was worth something all along. I already know what I'm worth. And I built the life to prove it. So here's my question for you, and I really want to know. Have you ever had to choose between family loyalty and protecting yourself? Between keeping the peace and keeping your sanity? What did you choose? And if you had to do it again, would you choose differently? Drop your answer below. Because sometimes the hardest decisions we make are the ones that save our lives. And sometimes the family we walk away from is the family we needed to lose.